Welcome to Legion Builds, where I guide you on how to bring fictional characters into Dungeons & Dragons. This video and all my content is made possible by my Patreon supporters, and it's dedicated to every one of you that subscribes to my channel. Seriously, thank you guys for keeping this fun. Now live on Patreon is the first of our Halloween polls. From the movie Blade 2, it's Blade versus Jared Nomak. Today we're diving into one of the darkest anime and mangas of all time, Berserk, with the Black Swordsman himself, Guts. Guts has spent his life becoming an unstoppable force. He has also spent his life in constant pain and suffering with brief commercial breaks of happiness. When I say Berserk is dark, I mean if I were to make a video talking about all the things that happens to Guts, my channel would be shut down. Understand this anime is extreme and not really for everyone. In battle, Guts appears to be little more than a brute, but is actually a highly intelligent and tactical fighter, able to change things up on the fly and surprise even the most battle-hardened generals. Combined with his unstoppable willpower, Guts pushes himself beyond human limits, both physically and mentally, surviving against all odds. Guts' preferred weapon is why most people think he is a brute, the enormous sword Dragon Slayer, which is over 300 pounds and is about 6 feet long. Eventually, Guts slays so many evil beings with this sword, Dragon Slayer begins to absorb their power, granting it the ability to kill anything, even across dimensions. And if you think Guts is all about his sword, you're wrong. For ranged attacks, Guts wields a repeating crossbow, throwing knives, explosives, and a cannon hidden in his own prosthetic arm. To top everything off, eventually Guts takes possession of the Berserk armor, a suit of full plate armor that comes with its own host of magical abilities, including the power to stop pain, keep the wearer alive, and force the wearer into giving into a berserker state. Before we continue, let's put something right out there. I will not be giving this build the Berserk armor or Dragon Slayer's ultimate powers. Why is that? Because that is a DM's dream right there and should be a true narrative to be included in the campaign. A sword that can eventually awaken a power within it in a suit of cursed armor? Yes, let me add this into my campaign. Seriously, this is fun to build. Talk to your DM about these things. Depending on the size and style of the campaign, the DM might want to add this to it. Though I would suggest the Berserk armor a later game edition, as it can really push an ultimate fighter beyond their limits. By the way, I did actually figure out how to create the Berserk armor using only character creation. It's possible, so if you can figure it out, go for it. For today's build, we'll be using the Player's Handbook and Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. We're using standard point array and we are multi-classing, so pay attention to stat minimums. We're going to start things off with strength at 15. By the age of 6, you are wielding weapons close to 5 times your size. Cloud, eat your heart out. Con comes in at 14. Even before you got the Berserk armor, you survived things that you shouldn't have. Intelligence flies in with 13. Are you good at math? No, but you are actually incredibly tactical, and you're intelligent enough to modify gear that you didn't create yourself, so yeah. Dex jumps in at 12. Low for you, but you're big, so you're not going to be that fast. I mean, Griffith just ran circles around you. Wisdom will be low with 10. Rage tends to cloud your mind. Trust me, it's understandable. And we're gonna dump Charisma. Everyone looks at you as if you're some dumb brute, and you don't care to correct them unless it involves using Dragon Slayer. Guts is a human that is well beyond what a human should be able to do. Variant Human grants a free feat and skill with your stat improvement. Place +1 into strength and intelligence. For your feat, Great Weapon Master shows your superior skills with Dragon Slayer. Now when you score a critical hit with a melee weapon or reduce a creature to 0, you can make another attack with a bonus action. Also, before you make a melee attack with a heavy weapon, you can take a -5 penalty to the attack roll. And if you hit, you add an extra 10 damage. For your skill, take Intimidation. For background, we need the skills Medicine and Perception. If you're wondering why we're taking Medicine, you are your own field medic. Pretty sure you use all your gold just on medkits. Let's get started. Level 1 fighters start off with 2 skills. Take athletics and survival. Fighting style lets you take a combat style to change how you fight. Great weapon fighting lets you re-roll damage dice of 1 or 2 while wielding a weapon with 2 hands that has the versatile or 2-handed properties. Second wind lets you ignore damage once per short or long rest by healing yourself 1d10 plus fighter level. Level 2 fighters gain action surge. You can now give yourself a free action once per short or long rest. Level 3 fighters now have their subclass. Battle Master, found in the player's handbook, makes you far more versatile on the battlefield. Combat Superiority gives you superiority dice that are 4d8s. You can spend these dice on special maneuvers you learn over the course of the build, and you learn 3 at this level. You regain all spent superiority dice at the end of a short or long rest. For your maneuvers, Lunging Attack lets you spend a superiority dice and increase the range of your melee attack by 5 feet, adding the superiority dice to the damage if you hit. Sweeping Attack lets you spend a superiority dice after you hit a creature to carry on the attack at another creature within 5 feet. If the original attack roll hits the second target, the superiority dice is used for the damage. Menacing Attack lets you spend a superiority dice when you hit a creature with a melee attack and attempting to frighten them, adding the superiority dice to the damage you force a wisdom save. If they fail, they are frightened of you till the end of your next turn. The DC for any maneuver you have that requires it is 8 plus strength modifier plus proficiency bonus. Level 4 fighters earn our first ability score improvement, places into strength for better attack and damage. Level 5 fighters receive extra attack. You can now attack twice with a single attack action. Okay, time for your arm cannon. We're jumping over to Artificer, found in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Level 1 Artificers start off with magical tinkering, which is not you. Very few people actually this fits, but trust me, it's good. I've seen some pretty smart tactics using this feature, so make sure to think about it. This lets you turn tiny non-magical items into simple magical ones that can emit light, sound, a smell, or a static image. You can only affect a number of items total equal to your intelligence modifier, which will not be increasing, so 2. Spellcasting makes you a half caster. You can prepare a total number of spells per long rest equal to half your Artificer level plus intelligence modifier, meaning you start off with 2 cantrips and 3 spells. For your spells, Firebolt fires a cannon blast out to 120 feet, dealing 2d10 fire damage on a hit. Booming Blade makes Dragon Slayer hit even harder, making a melee spell attack. You deal 1d8 thunder damage on top of your weapon's normal damage. Then, if they willingly move 5 feet, the internal damage will be 2d8 thunder damage. Jump doubles your jump distance for 1 minute. Long Strider increases your movement speed by 10 feet for 1 hour. Expeditious Retreat turns dash into a bonus action for you for 10 minutes while you maintain the spell. Level 2 Artificers now have infused items. You can now touch an item and turn it into a magical one. You know 4 infusions, but can only have 2 active at a time. For your infusions, Repeating Shot turns your crossbow into a +1 crossbow that ignores loading properties, and you no longer need ammunition to fire it. Enhanced Weapon turns one weapon into a magical one and adds +1 to attack and damage. Okay, that's it for Artificer. If your party includes an Artificer and you have a magical prosthetic arm, let them tinker with it and add a cannon, maybe a few other enhancements. And if your DM uses Kobold Press or is open to third-party companies or homebrew, check out the Tome of Heroes book for Clockwork Crossbow. It's a crossbow that fires 6 shots before needing to be reloaded. If all this happens, drop the 2 levels of Artificer and go full fighter, or even add a level of Barbarian if you want. Level 6 fighters earn another ability score improvement, Cap Off Strength. Level 7 Battle Masters gain Know Your Enemy. Now you can spend 1 minute studying an enemy outside of combat, including talking to them to determine 2 facts. After 1 minute, the DM will tell you if these 2 facts are equal, superior, or inferior to your facts. These facts can be strength score, dex score, con score, AC, current HP, total class levels, or total fighter levels. You also now have 5 superiority dice. For your new maneuvers, Repose lets you spend a superiority dice when a creature misses you with a melee attack with a reaction, and now you can attack them back and add the superiority dice to the damage if you hit. Parry lets you spend a superiority dice when a creature hits you with a melee attack and use your reaction to reduce the damage by the superiority dice plus your dex modifier. Level 8 fighters earn another ability score improvement. Let's raise Con up. Level 9 fighters receive Indomitable. You can now re-roll failed saving throws, including death saves, once per long rest. Your character level 11 now. Firebolt now does 3d10 fire damage on a hit, and Booming Blade does 2d8 extra thunder damage on a hit and 3d8 thunder damage if they willingly move. Level 10 Battlemaster fighters now have improved superiority. Your superiority dice are upgraded to D10s. For your new maneuvers, Bracing lets you use your reaction to spend a superiority dice when a creature gets within melee range and you get to attack them. If you hit, you add the superiority dice to your damage. Quick Toss lets you throw a weapon with the thrown property with a bonus action by spending a superiority dice. If you hit, you add the superiority dice to the damage. Level 11 fighters gain extra attack times 2. You can now attack 3 times with a single attack action. Level 2 fighters earn another ability score improvement. Bump up Con again, and remember, health stacks retroactively. Level 13 fighters now have a second use of Indomitable between long rests. Level 14 fighters earn another ability score improvement. Let's grab a feat. Tough gives you double your current character level in HP and adds +2 to each level after. Level 15 Battlemaster fighters receive Relentless. Now when you roll initiative and have no superior dice remaining, you gain 1 back. Yeah, not the best, but now you get your final 2 maneuvers and you're up to 6 superiority dice. For your maneuvers, pushing attack lets you knock an enemy back when you hit them with a melee attack by spending a superiority dice and adding it to the damage. You then force a strength save if they are a size large or smaller. If they fail, they are pushed back 15 feet from you. Disarming Strike lets you spend a superiority dice when you hit a creature holding an item, like a weapon, adding the superiority dice to the damage and then force a strength save. If they fail, they drop the item. This is better than when you used your teeth to grab Griffith's sword in combat. Dude, this is a horrible use for your teeth. How do they not break? Your character level 17 now. Firebolt does 4d10 fire damage on a hit, and Booming Blade now does 3d8 extra thunder damage on a hit, and then 4d8 thunder damage if they willingly move. Level 16 fighters earn our final ability score improvement to cap off Con for a 20 and 5+ to health to all levels. Level 17 fighters now have 2 uses of Action Surge between short or long rests, and 3 uses of Indomitable between long rests. Our final level is level 18 fighter, and you receive another upgrade with improved combat superiority. Your superiority dice are now D12s. Now that we've hit level 20, let's recap. Your stats are Strength 20, Dex 12, Con 20, Intelligence 14, Wisdom 10, Charisma 8. Your total levels are Fighter 18, Artificer 2. Let's dive in. You are built for combat. Your great sword is dealing 2d6 plus 6 magical damage, and you can attack up to 6 times with an action surge, can attack again if you take an enemy down. You're re-rolling 1s and 2s, and can add d12s to the damage, and when you do, this adds effects. Finally, you can add plus 10 to the damage if you're willing to take a -5 to the attack. You can also drop all these attacks to deal 2d6 plus 6 plus 3d8 thunder damage. Your range attacks are also magical, and you're dealing 4d10 fire damage with your cannon. Finally, your total health, taking the average, is 250. Downside. Firstly, your magical cannon may be powerful, but it's a wide shot, as you're only rolling +8 to the hit, which is not bad, but your sword is far better. Also, your repeating crossbow, yeah, it's a little bit worse than your cannon, so you'll probably just use your cannon. Finally, your soft stats, Wisdom and Charisma mostly, are saving throw targets. All this points to one thing: roll for better stats. plain and simple. There is one small problem with this build that may not come up unless your DM puts this in place: carry capacity. This build can only carry 300 pounds total, which is the weight of Dragon Slayer. If the DM makes such a massive weapon for you, that's literally all you can carry, though making Dragon Slayer a tad smaller and bring the weight down to 200 seems reasonable, so you'll have to pack light. Ride into battle and destroy all who are before you, but be careful of the charismatic general of the mercenary army. He has abandonment issues and is horribly self-centered. He is not your friend. Thank you for joining me today. Make sure to like and subscribe to not miss a single new build each week on YouTube and Spotify. Make sure to check out my Patreon where you can help decide next week's new character.